Hi, I'm Darlene.
I'm Marty.
And today we have our good friend with us, Sue.
Hola.
Today we thought we'd talk to you about maintaining your personal safety and making sure that the stuff you brought with you goes home with you when you leave Mexico.
So a lot of people have been saying, is it safe in Mexico? It's as safe here as anywhere else. You might take a few extra precautions with you because you're walking around with cameras and maybe more money than usual. So use your common sense, follow some of these simple guidelines and you'll be safe. Woohoo! So when you're at the beach, you still need to protect your personal belongings. What we do is we bring carabiners and then we just attach our straps around the pole of the umbrella or the arms of the chair, anything just to prevent someone from running by, grabbing it, and taking off before you even know what's happened. And I hook my backpack right onto my launch. So the nice thing about a crossbody purse is it's always secure on you and you don't have to do anything with it. So when you're at a restaurant, typically I just keep it on. It's not in my way, it's small enough, it doesn't interfere with anything. If I didn't want it on, there's a couple things that I can do. One is to hook it through the arm of the chair so it's still secure here, and you always want to make sure it's done up, no zippers or nothing hanging out of it, like that. Or if you have a carabiner clip, you could also clip it on that way. Now, what if you have something larger than a purse? So if I was coming to a restaurant or sitting somewhere with a backpack, all of my backpacks have carabiner hooks. So I can secure my backpack with my carabiner hook right onto my chair. If you didn't have arms or something that you could hook onto, then what you do is put your leg through the strap of the backpack. So it's not going to go anywhere. The whole idea of this is just to make it more difficult for someone to come by and grab it. If you're taking care of your stuff, they're just going to move on to somebody else. When you have a backpack at a restaurant, you either keep your foot through the straps or you again use a carabiner clip and clip the straps together here, or as Marty's done, he has his strapped in down there.
Probably the most common crime you're going to experience in the Mayan Riviera will be theft. First thing, theft of a wallet or a purse. Yes, you'll lose money, but more importantly, you'll lose credit cards, identification, and I guarantee you'll find it very awkward to replace those things while you're down here in Mexico. I'd suggest getting a inexpensive and thin RFID wallet and keep it in your front pocket if you can. That'll make it a little bit harder for a pickpocket to approach you. Try not to flash your money around. What I do is I fold my money up individually so that when I reach into my wallet I only have to pull one bill out at a time rather than having them folded all together, requiring me to take them all out, pick one out and put them all back in. That's just one way to keep people from noticing that you have a large amount of money in your pocket.
Another suggestion is to keep money in different pockets.
Good idea. Little tip for those of you who rent cars. If you just keep a small amount of money in your wallet and you do happen to get pulled over by a police officer who's looking for a tip or a donation to the Police Benevolent Fund, he'll have less wallet money to look at when he asks you for identification. Pickpockets. Some people have reported being victimized in crowded store areas, And what typically happens is people will come up, they'll accidentally spill something on you, or they'll say, oh, you've got something on you, and they'll be wiping you with a cloth. What they're doing is they're distracting you and possibly picking your pocket. If anybody approaches you, just say back off, stay away from me, or just turn around, walk away as fast as you can. Some stores you go into will indicate or ask that you leave your backpack at the security counter. I don't recommend that. Actually, Darlene and I both lost our backpacks at the Chedraui in Colonia in Puerto Morelos. We put our bags into the lockers, and the person who was standing there, the security person, didn't watch, and they were probably gone a minute after we went into the store. So just don't do it. Most likely if a security person approaches you, they've noticed the water bottle on the outside of your pack and they just want to put a sticker on it to indicate that it's been purchased already. Again, I would just state, if they want you to leave your pack, don't do it. One of you can stay behind or go shop somewhere else. It's just not worth the risk. Here's a few other thoughts for you. If you wear a wristband when you're walking around in a crowded touristy shopping area, some people will be able to recognize the wristbands, what hotel it is, for example, or it might even be printed on it. And what they'll do is walk up and say, hey, do you remember me? I was your bartender last night at the whatever hotel, and I just wanted to see how you're doing, and try and strike up a conversation. They might reach out, try and shake your hand. Probably 99% of them are just people trying to make a living selling timeshares or trying to get you to come into their store, but just be aware that they were most likely not the guy who served you a drink last night, and they could be the guy who's trying to pick your pocket while they're shaking your hand. Prevention of that, you could just turn the band inside out so you can't see what color it is or read the printing, or you could just snip it off, as long as the hotel that you stay at doesn't mind replacing it when you get back without charging you a fee or whatever. Another thing to do, it's just to prevent an issue or a dispute mostly. When you're buying something, count the money out in front of the person. If you're buying something for 200 pesos and you've got a bunch of bills, count them out. And that will prevent them from saying, hey, you gave me a 20 peso note instead of a 200 peso note. I am told that that's an issue at gas stations. So if you are a car renter, be very vigilant when you go to fill up your tank. I would suggest getting out. Make sure that the gas pumps are set to 0 before they start pumping. And when you pay them, verbally count the denominations out to them. The other thing you could consider doing is show them a 500 peso note and say, fill it up to 500 pesos. ATMs. This is the place where you're most likely going to have problems. The ATMs are very convenient in this area. You don't have to bring a lot of money with you. If you're careful and you have an appropriate bank card, you can go to just about any bank ATM and get out a good supply of money for your day-to-day activities. A common ATM problem that we've noticed in the Puerto Morelos area is a scam that I will label, "Oh sir, you forgot to close the ATM machine." What this means is when you finish the transaction and are walking away, a friendly person will approach you and say, "Excuse me, you forgot to close the ATM and I can't use it now." Because you're in an unfamiliar land, you may turn around and walk back, and he will explain that all you have to do is put your card in and take it out, and here, let me help you. And what he does is he palms your card, puts another card in, and pushes a random button and takes it out and hands it to you and says, there you go, thanks very much. What he's done is he's kept your card and given you likely somebody else's card that he's already used to victimize that earlier person. It might match your bank card, or maybe you don't notice. At any rate, I can guarantee you that before he did that, he did something called shoulder surfing, which means he was watching as you put your PIN in and has memorized your PIN number. And as soon as you walk out the door, he's going to put your card in the machine and start making a withdrawal up to your daily limit. How do you prevent this? If somebody walks up to you and wants to be helpful, just smile and walk away. The ATM machines work exactly the same here as they do in your hometown, so just act the same way as you do there. Another ATM issue is a damaged or altered ATM. You've probably noticed the little kind of smallish ATMs you see outside corner stores, outside nightclubs. They are privately owned, usually by a numbered corporation, and in my view are probably best avoided. The reason why is that they can be easily modified to allow the owner or the holder of that machine to skim your data from your card when you put it in. It'll read all of your credit card numbers, etc. And when you put the PIN in, it'll record that as well. Another issue with ATM machines is sometimes people will put glue or a sticky substance on the door where the money comes out, causing the machine to malfunction, and you'll be given an error message. You'll probably walk away from the machine and they will follow you in with a screwdriver or knife, pop the door open and take your money. To prevent a loss from that, all you have to do is, before you put your card in, before you do anything, have a quick look at the machine, feel the openings, especially where the money comes out, and make sure there's nothing sticky or rough there. And check the place where you put the card in and tap on it, make sure it feels solid. The skimmers I mentioned earlier are placed over top of the opening, so there would be a hollow plasticky sound if there was something attached on the outside.
We only use bank machines that are actually inside a bank.
In summary, I would like to say that the best thing you can do is keep an eye on your property. Don't leave phones on the table in front of you in a restaurant. Keep them in your purse or your pocket. Don't leave bags unattended at the beach, on your beach chairs. It's super easy for somebody to run by, and if you think you can catch a 18-year-old skinny guy when you're my age and not so skinny, I can tell you it's not going to work.
You're skinny, baby.
If you found this information informative, please subscribe to our channel. Now, I know we just threw a ton of information at you, but the one thing I want you to remember is these crimes or scams happen everywhere in the world, not just Mexico. We wouldn't be coming to Mexico if we didn't feel safe. The purpose of this video was just to give you some more information on things that can happen, not that they happen all the time. They do happen once in a while, just like everywhere else in the world. In fact, you should be practicing these safety tips at home as well.
Mucho gracias.